mentioning. So how did the journey of this company begin? Innovation.
Yeah, good question. The journey actually started because for this company to have birth and the textile industry closing in the country, the biggest textile industry that is in Mumbai, because of the Datta Samant strike, the whole industry collapsed. And I was out of the textile college, so the government thought that we should build more technocrats. And since my subject was filtration, they encouraged me to set up a more study on filtration and put a small unit, a startup, those days for making filter products, primarily for people working in the textile because they had businesses. People working in the slate industry, you may remember in our childhood we all had slates. Okay, now it is banned because slate industry, the people who are involved in polishing the slates would have a very bad lung disease where their lifespan would be not more than 10 years after they start work. There would be brake industry, there would be enzymes and steroid industry. So number of challenges were there and we didn't have solution. And that's how this company got its birth, to see that we can produce products for these industrial workers.
Sir, you are already exporting to 32 countries. So what are your plans to accelerate the growth and leverage the exports?
The biggest market in PPE is the North American market, sir. And we have been making a very big repeated attempts to get into this North American market. The first time we got an entry into this North American market, it was bad luck for us that we got a very large order for which we invested a lot. But unfortunately, the government stopped the exports during COVID. So we had to rebuild again after COVID to the confidence of our customers and again go to North America. Again we got a good order, but unfortunately Mr. Trump stalled it and again we have lost it. Now the duties are reversed, so once again we are going to start. But except North America, almost all other countries we are selling. And now with the whole world getting some kind of discomfort with the Far Eastern countries, that may help Indian companies to leverage it and take it towards theirs, because they know that Indian companies are good, but then if someone has settled for some supply chain, they don't change quickly just because India has a FTA. But FTA helps us to reduce our cost, and that may motivate the buyers to change to India.
Can you throw some light on your revenue split of your domestic and export market?
Roughly, it has been about, before COVID it was 60% exports, 40% domestic. But post-COVID, we have started focusing more on the domestic solutions, and it is 60% domestic, 40% export. But in coming years, I think the export market, as it opens, as we have more FTAs, that's going to overtake. The Indian economic growth has also helped us to grow our markets in these last 2-3 years, because I've never witnessed so much growth in the Indian economy, especially the awareness for safety, the questions that we see from the industrial workers. Because one of the reasons I am seeing is that we find that in almost all industries, the workers are now better educated and they are more concerned about their health, unlike about 20 years back or 30 years back. That time also the industrial management were ready to give the safety products, but safety was looked as an additional burden, not now. So that has helped us to get a domestic growth.
So you talked about 4 patented products. Can you elaborate?
Yes. The first product is, we are a very hot tropical country. So when you wear any kind of respiratory device, your exhaled air has a lot of moisture, it has high content of CO2, and at the same time air is very warm. So if that exhaled air is not vented out quickly, then you feel discomfort. So we developed a butterfly valve on our product, and the exhaled air goes out so efficiently that actually the cool breath comes. So we say have a butterfly valve for cool breath. That was the first innovation. The second innovation was on the gas filters. Typically the workers who work in the industry, they don't like to twist and just keep on screwing the filters, and it is very cumbersome for them. But we made a single click filter where they can just click it and quickly go on the work, and that is known as a twist and click filter. So that is an innovation which only the foreign companies have, but we beat them in that, and we said that our click and filters are faster and less confusing. The third kind of patent that we had was on the beetle mask. So typically in the road pollution, people cannot use an industrial mask. People should not use an N95 mask, but they should use a barrier face mask, which gives a better protection for their breathing and at the same time makes them feel comfortable. So in the barrier face mask, there is a design patent where the person can wear the mask and yet feel very comfortable. The fourth patent which we have applied is based on the triboelectric filter. In the triboelectric filter, we make the non-woven fabrics, and the non-woven fabrics have a very high charge, static charge. So even if you put it on the air conditioning filter, or if you mount it in the respirator, without compromising on the breathing effort or the flow of the air conditioning, it will capture the microfine dust. So those are some of the patents which we have worked on.
Sir,
Thank you.
How many products does the Venus produce per day?
If I have to tell you as a totality, then we produce about 1 million units a day, from the cheapest product to the most expensive product. But all put together.
Playing COVID pandemic, and how did Venus respond to the global demand?
Globally, actually, we didn't fulfill because the government was buying from us, and I'm happy to say that our products were actually sent by the government even to China. Because when they asked, there was something that the favors that India wanted from China, and when they wanted those favors, they said we want N95 masks. And since we were the producers of this US approved mask, the government could send it. So that was the time that the N95 products were available. The innovation that time was not from the point of view of product research, but the real innovation was how could we produce 2.5 million units a day from 500,000 units, how could we go to 2.5 million? And that too, when people are not available or not ready to work, there is closure everywhere. Machines are not available, parts are not available, transports are not available, ST buses are not available. So, and we had to increase our manpower to 4 times more. From 800-900 people, we were suddenly 4,000 people. So the innovation process started that how are we going to get our people, 4,000 people. The innovation process started how are we going to keep them safe. So we started thinking that we should give nutritious meals for our people. That is the time we started a nutrition meal program for our women employees. We went home to home campaigning that okay, we will take care of them, and the innovation was there that how we can make better fresh rooms for people to remain fresh and go back home with a bath. The innovation started also how we could pace out the timing so that the distance in the bus is still maintained, and yet we continuously get the people without increasing the bus. So the innovation also started by if the parts are not done, then how can we produce ourselves quickly? And the government also assisted us. Yeah.
What are the key turning points that Venus became a domestic manufacturer to global PPE brand?
Very good question actually. I think for Venus to get into a domestic market, the key turning point was the government program of entrepreneur development. Without the government's that entrepreneur development, this company wouldn't have been born. The second turning point, if you ask me, was the Dutch government's program, where they wanted the companies from a developing countries to go to international market, because they had the vision to say that these countries, if they don't protect their human beings or their workmen, then and if there is a disparity among international and national companies, then there will be a chaos. So the Dutch government had a program for companies from developing countries to go exports, and that was a turning point. And I'm trying to speak to the government that similar program, although now that program is not now available to India because we are no more considered a developing country, But if similar program is held or conducted in India, I am sure that more exporters will be there from our country. So these are the two turning points. And third, of course, is COVID.
Just 1 minute.
So can we take last question or two questions more if there are?
Okay, sir. You are showing this helmet. Yes, affordable for common purpose.
Beg your pardon, sir?
You are showing this helmets. Yeah, they are affordable for common purpose.
All our products are affordable for common products or people. For example, the air conditioning filter, which is now imported in the country, is imported at about 2,000 rupees per air conditioner. And we are going to target a price level at around 200-250 rupees. Okay. The helmets today are available in the country at about 150 rupees or so. And we feel by about just 15% higher price, another 25 rupees more or 20 rupees more, a person will get a cool made. When we compare our product lines with an imported product, we are almost 20-25%. And that is our key.
How do you see the next 5 years, 10 years for business and for the industry? Because so much is happening in the economy. We're talking about maybe the largest now. So how does it impact your business also?
I would go a little further. I would say we are targeting to look at 2047. As a,
2047.
yeah, as a, when we will become a Viksit Bharat, how we have to position ourselves, because R&D takes a lot of time. And we have already made plans that at that time, how we are going to be there. In the next 5 years, I think our impact will be more on seeing that we go wider in our marketing and more innovations we are doing with IITs. At the moment, we have a lot of IIT students working with us. Venus has also sponsored a chair in IIT. So one particular group of students work only on the projects that we tell them what is required for it. So we have sponsored a chair in IIT. We have several students in the academia working for us. And after their PhD, we also have people working here just to find solutions. So that is how we are going to bring more products in the next 5 years.
And how does business balance quality, affordability, and large-scale production?
See, first thing is finding an indigenous solution. Only then we can have. By importing and assembling, we cannot find. Everything has to be made in India. Okay. Okay. The second part you said is that quality. Then in the quality part, I think the manufacturing industry should have its own laboratory for validating the quality. They cannot rely on one certificate which says, okay, the product has met the requirement and then produce anything. There has to be a constant monitoring of quality. And third thing is, if you keep on marketing and make the market bigger, then the products get even more affordable. So these are the three things we are doing.
Thank you.
Okay.